Yo, I'm DJ Dude on a mic, rapping about a software app you'll really like. Tick-tock, time keeps ticking, it's true, but say time plugin is right on cue. Cindy Lauper said time at the time, and it delivers with the chime so fine. Does anybody really know what time it is? This app will tell you, it'll handle the biz. Time on my side, yeah, it's feeling grand. No more too much time on my hands. If I could turn back time, Sharon knows the deal. But say time plugin moves forward with clockwork zeal. From AM to PM to FM and everything between, this plugin's better than Martin McFly's time machine. Trapped in a time warp, Mr. Doom, well, tick-tock, this RadioDJ Dude is about to swoon. The say time plugin is on my mind. Oh, it's got the time, it's one of a kind.
We are on the air.
By my fuzzy math, you have two options. Either you hit replay on that video or you hit unsubscribe. And you know what? No judgment with either of those actions. Hey, I am Jeff, the Radio DJ Dude, and coming up, we are really gonna go deep on this Say Time plugin. And right off the top, I'm gonna lay out my cards. I have zero use for this plugin. My station, XXX80s.com, a global powerhouse of all things 80s, is just that, global. So the time here in Los Angeles is completely irrelevant to 80s lovers in Berlin or Cape Town or even Timbuktu. They could care less about the time, or at least the hour portion of it. So in addition to our ultimate guide on how to use this plugin, later on, I'm going to give you some ideas on how to make it more universally appealing. Ah, now you're tuned in, are you? Okay, but right off the top, let me give you a sample of how the Say Time plugin actually sounds.
It's 1:52.
But I never run something so boring like that.
All 80s, all the time. Even at this time.
It's 1:43.
XXX 80s.
First things first, how the heck does this Say Time plugin really work? Well, we know it doesn't work if you just launch Radio DJ and poke around for the Say Time button. No. Your work needs to begin in Windows. So you navigate to where your install of Radio DJ is and open the disabled plugins folder. Look for Say Time, and what I do usually, I just copy that plugin file, come back to the plugins folder, and just paste that baby in, and now you see pluginsaytime.dll. Now do we jump back to Radio DJ? No. In order for you to actually hear the time being spoken, you need some time audio files, and those don't come prepackaged. For that, we jump over to radiodj.ro, hit up the download page, scroll this baby down till you see Say Time language voice files. Choose your language. We're going to download the English package. So we extract this puppy, and it's really just a folder full of hour and minute MP3 files. So we copy this folder, navigate to the plugins folder, hit paste. Now, Say Time, there's the folder. Now do we go back to Radio DJ? No, not yet. This is the one step that trips so many people up. The majority of the Say Time plugin posts on the Radio DJ forum stem from this neglected step. This folder needs to be renamed plugin _ Say Time, one word, capital S, capital T. Boom. Yes, Sparky, now we jump over to Radio DJ. Okay, Radio DJ is open, scanning, looking. Where's the Say Time plugin? I don't hear the time. Oh my God, Radio DJ, dude, you suck. Hang on to your headphones, Chester. Okay, there it is, Say Time plugin. It's in there, and you have some options. Under settings, you could adjust the volume level of the Say Time announcements. That's how you do it right there. But if you don't see a Say Time button per se, it's okay. You're going to want to jump into events and then add an event action. Scroll down to the bottom. You're going to select the plugin action. And yes, you're exactly right if you guessed Say Time plugin action. And we have 3 to choose from. Say Time schedule time announcement, a Say Time voiceover option, which dips the levels, theoretically, under a track that's playing at the same time. And then there's Say Time with pause, which pauses your playlist for the announcement. Okay, these are our 3 options. But I know a lot of your hopes were flying high and you're itching for a Say Time button. Well, that's all very possible. Open up Options, and under Other Settings, you'll see Say Time over here. If you click this green arrow, you can now add it to your display, and right down here, you'll see Say Time.
It's 1:43.
And what I've done, I've created 3 separate events, one with each flavor of this Say Time plugin. I'm going to build a simple rotation where we could kick the tires on each one of these options and see how they perform in the real world. Option number 1, this is your Say Time scheduled announcement.
Our time is 12:04.
Interesting. So it looks like when that song ends, it triggers the Say Time announcement and then immediately triggers the next element in your playlist or rotation. Now that's great if your song has a long enough intro, but if that was a cold start, that would be a train wreck. Let's fire up the next Say Time option. This is Say Time voiceover.
Our time is 12:04.
Say Time voiceover, it's supposed to bring the levels of whatever track is playing under the time announcement. I don't know, maybe you heard a slight dip in levels, but it too, like the first option, starts the next element in your rotation or playlist when the time voiceover is triggered. So that may or may not work for you. And last up, this is the Say Time with the pause functionality.
Our time is 12:06.
Yes, Huey Lewis is right. If this is it, then that's the one I would want. That actually does a decent job. But I would never run a dry time announcement between 2 records. Come on, that is a first-class momentum killer. No. Coming up, I have a couple ways for you to inject some pizzazz into this plugin. But first, we need to talk about how not to use it. While I wasn't thrilled with those examples you just heard, technically they were properly executed. And that's because I created a manual event that then inserted the Say Time announcement into a playlist or rotation. Versus a way I see a lot of people using this plugin, they basically create a time-based event. For this example, we're having the Say Time voiceover fire off at 35 minutes past the hour. We'll select the right Say Time plugin action and fire this baby off. 5 seconds to go. The anticipation. Okay, do it.
Our time is 12:35.
Aha! Using a time-based event, RadioDJ does not care what's happening on your air. It's going to run that Say Time announcement exactly at the time you tell it to. Could be in the middle of a song, could be in the middle of a commercial. It doesn't care. So that is the certifiably incorrect method to use this plugin. Some of you might be saying, well, what about the Say Time with pause playlist action? That'll sound better. Really? Will it?
Our time is 12:16.
Something so strong? Not the execution of that plugin. Don't you dare run the Say Time plugin with a time-based event. It'll always jam your gears and guarantee the most craporific sound.
Now more crap!
From the XXX80s News Center, I'm Larry McLiarpants. Because I know a lot of you have grand plans to use this in like a top-of-the-hour situation where maybe you have a news report, then you go to the time, then you go to weather, traffic, and then a jingle back to your music. So we're going to explore that workflow. Maybe you just want to insert a time announcement over a music sounder, a music bed. Well, I've got that queued up for you too. Because damn it, I'm the radio DJ dude who cares. Many hours in the radio laboratory have yielded some very interesting results. To me, the only way to use this Say Time plugin effectively, professionally, is by first creating a standalone playlist you drop the Say Time event into, and a big old shiny hat tip goes to Roderick. Because I got this tip from him, and I went a little nutty after that. So first off, you create what I'm calling your time-only event, And all that has is this plugin, Say Time Voiceover. You choose Say Time Voiceover, schedule time announcement, and lower the music volume, okay? That's the one you want. That's the one I already have. But for our applications, as you'll soon hear, I've added a couple other little tricky actions in our stack. We'll get to that in a second. So you want to create a new playlist, add an event, and all we're adding is the time only. Bada boom, bada bing. Save that playlist. Time check. Now, with that playlist created, you have a ton of flexibility. Let's start small and build up. Let's say you want a time check between two songs.
It's 1:52.
That wasn't bad. I would never run a dry production element. So no, I'm always about the bells and the whistles. So you heard that little time sounder. This sounder starts, and when it hits the next start cue point, then it triggers the Say Time voiceover. If we inspect this event, you'll see it's loading up the time check sound effect. Then the playlist, our time check playlist, which just has the other time-only event in it. So what you just heard was the time between two songs, but the second song didn't trigger until the end of the time announcement. Well, what happens if we were to adjust the seconds to wait and shorten that up? Can we get it to actually almost like speak over the music? Let's try this out. So now we cut the seconds to wait down to a half a second.
It's 1:54.
Wow, that actually sounded pretty smooth. I've now gone from 0 interest in this to about 38% interest in the Say Time feature. But it's all how you program it. It has to be tightly executed if it's ever going to make air on XXX80s.com. I urge you to please adopt that philosophy. No loosey-goosey, sloppy-droppy radio stations. People already expect that from internet radio. So our job is to continually defy those low expectations, deliver delight, and a quality listening experience. Okay? Thank you. Rant over. Back to the video. By now, you kind of have an idea of what I'm all about. So I wanted to see if I could take something as mundane as a time announcement and, make it pop a little more. So using Adobe Audition, I built a little nutty time-based sweeper. And we'll bring that over to RadioDJ to see how it actually interfaces with the Say Time plugin. And to pull this off, I built a new event, which basically is loading this new sweeper, or jingle, as some of you like to call them. So it goes sweeper to our playlist with the time announcement, and then out of the bit with a XXX80s stab. All right, here it's loaded up. Let's get this thing going.
All 80s, all the time. Even at this time.
It's 1:32.
XXX 80s.
Oh yeah, Cameo, word. That sounded good. Truth be told, I'm not going to use that at XXX80s, but I just wanted to show you what's possible and encourage you. Stretch those creative legs and have fun with this. Come on, it's the time after all. Who gives a damn? From my wanderings over in the Radio DJ forum, I see how a lot of you are trying to execute the Say Time plugin. You'd like to include the time during a top-of-the-hour news event. As you shake your head, yes, Radio DJ Dude has prepared such an example for you. So we'll first play this, and then I'll break it down. Roll 'em. From the XXX80s News Center, I'm Larry McLiarpants. Our top story, last night a tornado ripped through a cemetery, hundreds dead. And local police begin a campaign to run down jaywalkers. More news in 30 minutes.
It's 1:57.
Traffic.
In the XXX80s Traffic Center, I'm Rusty Bumpers. To the 405 we go for a big pileup. And that's a look at your sucky Los Angeles traffic on XXX80s.
XXX80s.
Oh yes, just as Anita Baker's about to sing, how sweet it is. Yeah, that sounded pretty sharp. So let's break out the microscope and take a closer look at this. So that is the top of the hour news time event. And the following is happening. It's first loading the news music bed, then it's triggering the news report right into the time sounder, and then it loads up time check playlist that I just showed you. And after that's done, we go into the traffic sounder, traffic report, and then the jingle out into the music. A caveat here is you really have to get the seconds to wait time correct. You have to dial that in to match, a good estimation of what your time check voiceovers usually run. Could be around 2 seconds. But another reason this works, let's say if I set the wait time too short, well, my traffic sounder has a little bed before the singers, come in with traffic.
Traffic.
So even if this time check, well, I could show you. Let's bring down seconds to wait. And we're going to speed through this so you don't have to listen to the whole thing. From the XXX80s News Center, more news in 30 minutes.
It's 2 in the afternoon.
Traffic.
In the XXX80s Traffic Center. So you heard when he said it's 2 in the afternoon, halfway through, it triggered the traffic bed, but the traffic bed had a little music ramp before they shout traffic. So that worked. So I think to be safe, any production element you stack right after the say time announcement, make sure it doesn't have a cold open. Because if that element started with the shout traffic, then that would have been a train wreck. So you might be asking, well, what happens if I don't put that wait time in the event? What happens, by all my testing, RadioDJ is using the end cue point of, for example, my time check sounder to trigger the next event. The say time voiceover that you're hearing, it's not a voiceover file. It's not a sweeper file. It doesn't really have any cue points. For an example, I'm going to put the end all the way at the end of this time check file. So there will be a dramatic pause. Let's save that and let's get rid of the wait event.
Current time 2:03.
Okay, wait. That sounded like a big old hunk of junk. And yes, that's a brilliant question you're asking yourself. What happens if I just move the endpoint? That definitely will affect when your next element is triggered. By moving this endpoint up, let's see what happens. Rock and roll, baby.
Current time 2:04.
Some of you lazy radio dudes and dudettes might just surmise, well, how about if I just use this endpoint to determine when it triggers the next element instead of adding the wait event action? I just think the wait action is so much smoother because it won't cut your music element or sound effect off prematurely.
Current time 2:05.
Traffic.
So that is an example of us relying on the endpoint of the time check sounder. And we really need to add the wait command back in. If I put that, at 2 seconds, and then you want to add a play command. So it's a say time voiceover, seconds to wait 2, and play. Save it. Let's roll that again.
Current time 2:06.
Traffic.
That's workable. I like that. So hopefully for all you hours and minutes lovers, your dinghy is rocking with glee. But not for me. If I were to entertain this, I'd like to consider a time announcement that went a little something like this. It's 22 minutes after the hour. Just do the minutes. Now you have a time check bit that's universally useful, even on the moon. Now, this does require a little work, but it's a little pain for a long-term gain. I mean, what it involves is you or someone on your staff or an AI voiceover recording 60 audio files. It's 1 minute after the hour. It's 59 minutes after the hour. But all those files need to be recorded. I could hear dry scalps being itched right now. How will that work with the Say Time plugin architecture? Well, pretty easily. It just basically becomes a naming convention where all your new time files need to have the same name as your current Say Time minute files. So you'd name it's 37 minutes after the hour, min37.mp3. So you create this new folder that you drop all your files in. You want to try an experiment? Let's open up Audacity. It's 17 minutes after the hour. I want to export this as minute 17, okay? Now, it's really important to save these as MP3. I've tried this before, saving these files as WAV, and it just doesn't work. So it's expecting a MP3 file, minute 17. I'm going to copy. I'm going to come back over here to plugins. I'm going to go say time, minute 17, the old 17. I'm just going to do this, okay? And then the new 17, I'll paste in. And then there we go. This is our new minute 17. I want to see what happens when we blow out the hour. So, okay.
16.
You hear that?
16.
When we blow out the hour, it doesn't thwart the plugin's functionality. So it just is reading the minutes. So I'm very hopeful this will work. One thing I didn't adjust for, is our wait time. Okay, it is 17. We can talk more in a second. Let's get this rolling. It's 17 minutes after the hour.
Traffic.
More news in 30 minutes. It's 17 minutes after the hour.
Traffic.
Hot damn. That really sounded good. Does that mean I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon recording 60 time checks? Debatable. But I love the proof of concept. I think that is a real snappy way to pull this off. If you don't have to be beholden to one geographic broadcast location. Because come on, every one of your listeners is surrounded by mechanisms to determine the time. Watches, phones, clocks, computers, tablets, TVs, microwave, ovens, etc. Your station does not need to be the only time provider in their life. One way to drastically reduce your workload if you want to pursue this path is only produce time voiceovers within the time frames you may run this bit. If you know you're going to run it at the top of the hour and maybe the bottom of the hour, maybe you do 5 minutes in either direction. So you cover yourself. So minutes, 1 through 5, you do a time check for. Now that's you or someone on your staff recording all this voiceover live. Maybe you want to toss this up to the robots in the sky to take on. That's another great option. It can be time consuming if you're typing in 60 prompts, click and generate, downloading 60 individual files. So I may have a more streamlined approach to pull this off, involving a workflow that I shared with you a while back for my cool automated weather report. And I think I also used it in my automated trivia segment. And it's a massive time saver. Okay, 24 hours later, a little time in the thought incubator, the shower, and now I absolutely love the Say Time plugin, but not in the way that you might use it. It's much easier to just put your ear hole on this.
And now, the most exciting moment of the hour.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Well, technically it is a machine that tells time.
Here's the time.
Hey, 80s lovers. It's 22 minutes after the hour.
Triple X 80s.
Yes, I love it. Come on, it's the time. It's a silly feature. To me, the time alone has absolutely zero value on my station. But if you could spin it around and have a little fun with a bit, heck yeah, it's heading straight for a rotation near you. Like usual, the mission should always be how to turn something mundane into something unexpected, personality-rich, and fun-driven. Now, the female time voice you just heard, not real. She's my wonderful AI Valley girl, and I am going to do a second video. Stay tuned, a whole other video on generating all your time voiceover tracks using AI voiceover with a super cool time-saving automated workflow will be the subject of that video, and I was just jaw-dropped. I did all these 60 time files in record time. So I'll give you all the deets you need to roll out something similar. Stay tuned for that.
Hey, 80s lovers. It's 26 minutes after the hour.
Traffic.
Still sounds great. Okay, the time is now. Tick-tock. Go have some fun with this Say Time plugin. Find a way to really make it your own, because the ultimate goal is to have your listeners say, oh my God, that's a station where the time has never sounded so good. Good times, all the time, while delivering the time. Ha ha. And yeah, I'm out of time. I'm Jeff, the Radio DJ Dude, and if you enjoyed our little time together, you got something out of this, well, I'd love a like and a subscribe. Yeah, 2 for 1. And until our next double shot of radio nonsense, oh yeah, you keep rocking those mics all over the world. Yo, I'm DJ Dude on the mic, rapping about a software app you'll really like. Tick-tock, time keeps ticking, it's true, but say time plug-in is right on cue. Cindy Lauper said time after time.